All right. September Metal Fridays. Let's see. All right, let's go to YouTube Studio. See if I can get up on my laptop. And then we can get the party started, hopefully. Or as much of a party as I hope it can be, because I am not feeling good at all. But I'm not going to let that stop me from entertaining you fine folks. For those who have been following me on social media, many of you likely know that I now have COVID. Hence why I am not in the Starbucks right now with good Wi-Fi. So I apologize in advance for the technical issues that I know are going to rear their ugly head. I hate streaming in this room with a passion, but unfortunately it's got to be done. I can't infect people. Alright, we got 24 people watching. Very nice. Hopefully the Wi-Fi doesn't crap out on me, because all I've got to go on is cell phone data. 2022, isn't it nice? Ace Turn said, me and Lydia said hi. Lydia's a fucking babe. Big time. Good on you for starting to hang out with her, man, because that is... Anyway. Yeah, so I've been trying to avoid getting it, and I've been careful for 2.5 years, and I ended up getting it anyway. Life sure does have a sick sense of humor sometimes. And the worst part about it, this Mountain Dew right here, tastes like Diet Mountain Dew. Biggest offender. I wish COVID were a real person. Like, an embodiment of a person. That way we could all beat the shit out of it. Could you imagine how many people would form a line just to kick COVID in the balls? It'd be funny. It'd be really funny. Now, it could be a game. Everybody would be wearing masks and probably hazmat suits trying to avoid it. Okay, I predict that there's probably some lagging going on, and I apologize for that. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it. But, I'm not sure that this stream is going to last a full hour, like they've been lasting. We're going to see how I'm feeling. Because I've been trying to Gatorade up and all that other stuff. But, anyway. Okay, so, live chat. Let's talk to the lovely people in the live chat. Harpsagoth, hello, how are you? Uno675, hi, how you doing? Thank you for everybody saying get well soon. Three-legged raccoon. And the funniest thing is, I post my tests on Instagram, and a lot of people thought it was a fucking pregnancy test. Are you... Seriously? Sometimes it's like, I want to get angry at people, but it's like, you know, I remember that the American school system isn't what it used to be. You know, test that says COVID-19. Okay, let's try not to make this stream mean-spirited. So let's talk about some things. So, the worst part about getting COVID right now, I've lost a few pounds of water weight from sweating alone. Like, my symptoms right now, I'm feeling major congestion. I'm sweating a lot. Yesterday I had a bad case of the chills, and I couldn't sleep worth a crap. But, I'm not facing any lung problems like some people face, so that's a good thing. Trust me, despite what rednecks will tell you, it definitely helps when you're vaccinated and when you're taking care of yourself. Because me, I get on the treadmill a few times a week, and I love it. Sometimes the virus doesn't care, though. Actually, there's a new booster that's come out in my county pretty recently that covers the Delta and Omicron variants. I was hoping to get it today, but, well, one of the things that I'm getting to miss. I got to miss Deicide last night in Greensboro, which I was sad about. And Lacuna Coil is coming on Sunday. I bought 2 tickets for the show. This show was cursed from the beginning. Okay? I've been talking to this friend I reunited with after many years. And I've been trying to get her to take off work and go with me. I said, hey, maybe you should fake a pregnancy scare and tell your boss that way you can get off work early and you can go to Lacuna Coil with me. Because, she's got a woman boss, and the way women bosses are, it's like, oh, you think you're pregnant? Oh, go to the doctor right away. But she's like, oh, well, I'm a bad liar. And then another friend of mine said, oh, yeah, I'd love to go. I shouldn't be working on Sunday. The next day, she said, fuck, I'm working on Sunday. I'm like, no! Then another friend of mine said that she's seeing a local band's album release party on Sunday. I'm like, really? You'd rather see that than Lacuna Coil? I mean, they're a good band, but Christina Scabbia, man, total badass. And then had another friend say, oh, well, we're going to Blue Ridge in Virginia. And so my attitude was, okay, fuck all of you then. I'll go myself and I'll have a great time. See, it's so much easier to go to concerts by yourself than it is to plan stuff with friends because of stuff like that, Everybody's got an excuse about why they can't go, so believe me, it is so much easier to do things on your own in that sense. But, yeah, now I can't go, period. So, I have 2 tickets to Lacuna Coil in Charlotte, and if anybody wants them, hit me up on social media, because I can't go for obvious reasons. Throw some dollars my way, and, I'll make it happen for you. Because, let's face it, they rarely ever come to North Carolina, and they just put out a new album. So, you'll have fun. Let Uncle Tony hook you up. Sometimes they call me Uncle Tony, because I do favors. I do favors. Like a gangster. Sab says, I'd love to see Lacuna Coil. Yeah, me too. I'm really sad that I can't go see it. It was like that Talking Heads song, Life During Wartime. The song is about Arabs who can't go night clubbing because there's a war going on. I mean, they're sad about the destruction of their city and everything, but the biggest thing they miss is going out and dancing. Well, that's what I feel like, It's like, I don't care about a lot of the rest of the stuff that's going on in the world. Music is my life. This is what fuels me. This is my reason to exist. In fact, I don't even really have an appetite, unfortunately. It sucks. I've got a bad cough and can't really hear 100% out of my left ear. Okay, this Mountain Dew. Let's see if I'm getting my taste back. Okay, it's actually pretty good now. Hopefully my symptoms don't last that long. Okay, Desole Presciato. Hey, Killbot. I went to my first concert ever last week, and your video helped a lot. What? Awesome. Who'd you go see? Plenty of great bands going on tour right now. A-Man1998 says, if it weren't for the fact that I kind of rely on people for transportation, I would go on my own more often. Yeah, that helps. I mean, if you live in a big city, you can always take an Uber, or a taxi, or the subway train. But, if you're like where I am, where there aren't really any concert venues for about an hour, well, you gotta make do with what you got. I did just find out that Napalm Death is playing on Halloween night in Carborough, which I might still be in Texas when that happens, so I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Depends on if me and the lovely lady get along. Hi, Lar. How you doing? Anyway. Bradley Land says, I hope you recover soon. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hopefully I recover pretty soon, because I haven't even had a common cold in 3 years. Here's the thing. I prefer to take care of myself, so it's very rare that I get sick, but when I do, it's really bad. And actually, I think the face masks helped with not getting sick, because, you're blocking a lot of the bacteria that's out and about. But anyway. Ricardo Saucedo. What's up, Killbot? Hope you're feeling well. I'm not, but thank you very much for the good vibes, man. I'm doing my best. Doing my best here. Frank Ferry says, I love your channel. Do you have a favorite punk band? I'm a giant Ramones fan. Top 10 favorite band for me. Like, Ramones, if you click any of the Ramones songs, if we're in a car together, I will sing every word to every song. First rule is, so good. Denisha Freeman. Oh no, you're sick too? Yep. Unfortunately. And, there's this, hold on, let me blow my nose. Like, part of the reason I want to do this live stream is because I can't go to any shows. But, you know, I'm not going to let it defeat me. I still want to do this live stream because I said that I wanted to do a live stream every Friday this month. It's been helpful, you know. It's been fun. So there's this Vapo inhaler from Vicks, which you shake, you stick up your nose, and you inhale. And it's supposed to clear up your sinuses. Actually, it smells kind of good. So that helps, but you know what else helps? And this may or may not be recommended to get this close to your face, but Dave's Insanity Sauce. Sometimes I carry it with me when I go driving around. But if you sniff this stuff, this will clear your sinuses big time. Oh boy. Like, all you gotta do is sniff it. Or take a little spoonful, like a little teaspoon. Oh boy, your sinuses will drain like a faucet. It's really nice. Anyway. Metal from Here to Eternity asks, what's my favorite song off the new Megadeth album? Celebutant. It's a fun song. You know, I think one of my criticisms for the new Megadeth album is it's not really a fun album, save for the last couple songs. And I prefer fun Megadeth over serious Megadeth. You know, like Poison Was the Cure, Devil's Island, These Boots, Chosen Ones. Anyway. Good lord. I probably have no business doing this. But what else am I going to do? I can't go to shows. Anyway. Ricardo Saucedo says, I'm finally going to see Merciful Fate, Creator, and Midnight next month. Tickets were selling like crazy. That looks like an awesome tour. Unfortunately, they're not coming to North Carolina. They're coming to Atlanta, but I have no interest in going back to Georgia for a while. I just got out of a relationship with somebody in Georgia a few months ago, and I pretty much left everything there that needed to be left there, so anyway. Matthew F. Bridges says, I've heard you've been ill, Tony. Oh yeah, definitely. I haven't been feeling good, but let's see who else. The Cavalieras are going on tour, and they're going to be playing Sepultura songs from the earlier albums. I'm excited to see that. I've got to go see that, come hell or high water, because they're going to be better than the real Sepultura. Honestly, I don't really care about anything that band did after Chaos AD. So, you know, as long as they stick with the early stuff up to Chaos AD, I'll be golden. Regis Lucio says, hello from Brazil. Love your channel. Why, thank you. Thank you so much. Greetings from North Carolina, United States of America. Let's see. So what else has been going on? Yeah, so 9 Inch Nails and Ministry and Nights Are Ebb are going to be playing in Cleveland on September 24th. My mother lives in Cleveland, and I would like to go visit her, and maybe we can both go see the show together. That would be pretty awesome. And they just announced yesterday that 9 Inch Nails is going to be doing like a fan Q&A at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the day before the show. I gotta go. I've been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before, but this time I gotta go. Because, like, yeah, it would be an honor. You know, maybe I can ask something cool, you know. Not sure what questions I can ask Trent Reznor, but, you know, it's just... 9 Inch Nails has been a favorite band of mine since I was about 11 years old. The Downward Spiral was the first album that ever gave me nightmares. I mean, I wasn't used to that type of honesty and violence in music, and then I heard Reptile, and I was just like, man, this album is intense. Squid Meta 1. Wait, that's how you pronounce Nitzareb? I've heard it pronounced Nitzareb. I've heard it pronounced Nitzareb. When I saw them a few years ago, the band pronounced themselves Nitzareb, so that's what I've been going by. But it doesn't matter, you know? Great stuff. Let's see. What else? Hattori Hanzo says, anybody else jamming Black Braid? Dude, that band's awesome. That's a cool new approach on black metal, you know, the Native American perspective. Or the Indian perspective, wherever he's from. Wait, he's from California, isn't he? But yeah, really interesting music. Hopefully he can go on tour and we can go see him pretty soon, because black metal needs a fresh perspective. And I think he's the one to offer it. That's what I love about metal. It's progressive, you know? There's always new stuff coming out, new sounds, new styles. And it may not always be stuff that people like, but it shows that the genre is just as strong now as when it began. You know? And for those who were wondering, I have been working on the Ministry Bush Trilogy video. I did the voiceovers for the Rio Grande Blood and Last Sucker parts, and those are finished. I haven't done the Houses of the Mole part yet, because I sent the script over to Max Brody, who is their drummer for the Houses of the Mole album, as well as Animata Tessamina. And I'm waiting on him to tell me if there are any factual inaccuracies or not. You know, I want to be as true to history as possible. And where better to look than somebody who was there? So, once I'm feeling better and once Max gets back to me, I can do 3 pages worth of voiceover work. It may not sound like much, but trust me, sometimes it takes hours to go line for line and have everything sound pretty good, you know? Like a Daria episode, you know? I think it said that, I think they said that it took them 2 weeks to get voiceover work done for each episode. Because on a big TV production, you know, you have to make sure that line for line it's pronounced good and enunciated well, etc. Alright. Skull Diamond 94 says, have you ever seen the Rat Skates Overkill documentary, Born in the Basement? No, Melissa from the Metalhead Box has told me about it. Like, she was talking about it nonstop when it came out. And I just hadn't had the chance to watch it yet. Actually, lately I marathoned the Rocky movies. Because the cool thing about the Rocky movies is you watch them and they get you pumped for anything. You know, you got Mr. T going, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool. It's good stuff. Then you get to Rocky 5 and the movie sucks so bad. Stallone recently did that director's cut of Rocky 4, which was a pretty good version. Rocky 4 wasn't the one that needed to be re-edited. Rocky 5 needed to be re-edited. And unfortunately, no amount of re-editing is going to fix stiff and bad acting, but you know, it was supposed to be a lot darker than it ended up being. Like, they were supposed to kill Rocky off at the end of the movie. And the studio said, nope, can't have that. Franchise makes too much money, so honestly, that wouldn't have been a bad idea. You know, it would have been a bold artistic move. Know what I mean? Music is life says, what's my favorite Rocky movie? First one. Second one's also really good. I'm just not really a fan of the Creed movies. It's like they butchered the characters too much, you know? Like, there are too many constraints on the characters, and like, Rocky, who's usually like a sign of hope and optimism in these movies, they made him depressing. They gave him cancer, he didn't have any will to live anymore. It's like, that's not the Rocky we know. Why do they do that to all of our favorite characters, like Luke Skywalker? Serene Pierre, hello, just arriving. Hope you're not too tired with COVID. Oh, I feel like hell. Trust me. I'm not going to sleep that well tonight, unfortunately, but we shall see. Hopefully I get better soon. But you know the thing about being sick that not a lot of people talk about? When you listen to music, it's like the music slows down. Like the tempo slows down in the music. So I'm sitting here trying to listen to some music, and it's like Crowbar is a lot slower, Talking Heads is a lot slower, Pantera is a lot slower, Evanescence is a lot slower, so it's like, these songs just got way heavier. Okay. Like, you know it's not the proper way to listen to them, but I don't know, it seems like time slows down sometimes when you listen to music and you're sick. I was watching an Angry Video Game Nerd episode earlier today, the Dracula episode, and it was like the theme song was slowed down too. It was like, hey, what's going on here? It's hard to explain. I'm sure some of you probably know what it's like, but Noor says, waiting for Thach and Campfire tomorrow here in Holland. Oh, that ought to be fun. That ought to be fun. Shizazzle says, hey, how's it going? Why, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. Zoofagus says, hey, Killbot, what's your favorite Gwar kill? My favorite Gwar kill? The Bill Cosby kill was awesome. The Marilyn Manson kill was awesome. The Lady Gaga kill was awesome because they dressed her up like a toilet. Because that's when she was still doing the costumes. I mean, I know a lot of people were turned off by the costumes, but they were fun. You know, she was so full of joy, and fucking people had to be like, oh, the costumes are fucking weird. We don't like weird people. And then she stopped wearing the costumes, and she stopped being fun. Her concerts were joyless. I mean, she's an elegant, talented woman, but goddamn, like, y'all need to stop ruining everything. Anyway. Lucy says, hello, hey, how you doing? And in the past week, I've been going to the library. I've already written another video. Okay, for those who might have missed it, I just did a video called Concert Stories Part 2. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I've got some great stories. It is a sequel to a video I did 4 years ago, Concert Stories Part 1. And I'm not sure why it took so much time between that video and this video. But believe it or not, I had so many stories that I had to leave out that those stories are going to be available for Part 3. Probably going to come out next year. I got to space it out a little bit. But it's, yeah, it was a fun video to do, and it's edited better. Because what I used to do in my old videos, I used to speed up my videos by a few percent, just for pacing purposes, and to seem more energetic. And I overdid it. So when I watched that old video, I watched a few seconds of it just to see what it was like, and yeah, I saw it, I was like, man, why did I speed it up so much? This is terrible. I was also 30 pounds overweight, so sometimes when I watch those old videos, it's like, ugh, man, I really let myself go around this time. But this video is edited a lot better. The stories are better. The delivery's a lot better. All these stories that you saw, I divided them into sections and did them in one take. And I separated the stories and gave them timestamps, since a lot of people like timestamps. Yeah, so, yeah, definitely go give that a watch. Long-awaited sequel. I get to tell my story about the X-Order security guy being an asshole in Atlanta. And probably my favorite is the choosing beggars story at the end of the video, with the guy who didn't want to pitch in for gas money. The next time I see him, if he sees the video, it's going to be awkward. Hey man, you were talking about me in the video. Yeah? Well, here's your other $5 since you complained about it so much. Why, thank you. It's a pleasure doing business with you. I asked Dave, hello Killbot, first time here in one of your live streams, enjoying it. Why, thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I was feeling better than I do, because usually these streams are pretty lively and energetic, and I'm doing the best I can, but unfortunately, I have been hit with the COVID-19 curse. I tested positive yesterday morning at about 5:45, and I feel pretty terrible, so. Anyway. Dark Revenant says, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Dungeons and Guitars. What's your favorite? Do you have any other metal and school stories? I liked that video. The only other metal and school story that I have, and it's not enough to make a separate video on, but at Fall Fest one year, I had the DJ play As Your Casket Closes by Ghoul, and me and some friends of mine started a mosh pit. It was in front of hundreds of people. We had a metal song playing. We were doing our own little mosh pit in front of the DJ booth, and all the other classmates were looking onward like, huh? I wish that I put that in the video, because that was a good story. And that was a good day. Had a lot of fun. Rugalez says, hi, do you listen to any Japanese bands like Anthem X or Shoya? I like Psy. I like Unholy Grave. There are plenty good Japanese bands out there. I just haven't heard those two. Let me blow my nose again. It's dripping like a faucet. I know this is kind of disgusting for y'all to see and hear and look at, but well, I'm doing the best I can. Let's see. Amish Shoda says, cut off metal shirts or long sleeve metal shirts. Well, personally, I don't like messing with things that I paid $30 for. So I'll just do long sleeve shirts, and they look really sexy on me in the fall. Trust me. I did that Instagram post pretty recently of me in the dog cage, and I'm wearing my long sleeve population reduction shirt. Damn, I look good in that one. May Credible says, dude, I was already burying the stream because I read that you were sick, but you're pulling through pretty good. Happy to be here. Why, thank you so much. I mean, I probably have no business doing this right now, but what am I going to do? Hopefully the stream is looking good on everybody's end. Hopefully it's not lagging too much, because the bandwidth here at my house isn't as good as at Starbucks, unfortunately. So, surprisingly, I haven't been alerted of any technical issues yet. We're 26 minutes in, and hopefully we can make the full hour. Thank you all so much for participating. Also, I was at the library this week. I was at the library this week, and I wrote another video. It only took me a few hours. The video is going to be called Being a Metalhead as a Teen versus Being a Metalhead as an Adult. Now, I'm not going to make a sequel to Obstacles Young Metalheads Face. This is a different video from that altogether. Because I realize that a lot of people grow up in supportive households where their parents are metalheads, and that's really nice. So I mentioned that in the video. But, you know, I just want to talk about the big differences between, you know, before you turn 18 and after you turn 18. I don't get a lot of people coming up to me and saying to my face, oh, cut your hair, you fucking hippie. I wish they would. I mean, I get trolls sometimes on YouTube in the comment section, but, you know, the solution there is pretty simple. You just reply and tell them to go fuck themselves. But, you know, before I turned 18, holy shit. Family members would be like, oh, when are you going to cut your hair? It's like, hey, when are you going to cut your hair? You look like Barbara Bush. Ugly fuck. I mean, the whole idea is that, you know, when parents are helicopter parents and they try to suppress those personalities and traits and likings of their children, you know, like not letting them listen to metal, those parts of the kids' personalities are going to manifest in destructive ways. So what's going to start happening is a lot of kids, they sneak their t-shirts in their backpacks and they switch their shirts when they leave the house. We don't need that, you know? But as an adult, as a metalhead, it's really nice. You know, you can go to whatever shows you want, not have to answer to anybody. You know, it's, you know, I don't expect it's going to be a giant video that's going to get a lot of views, but maybe it'll give hope to some people, you know? Because generally, I don't think that I make videos for children. I make videos for people my age and older. That's my target audience. But, you know, it's when you do that, you know, a lot of the younger generations, you know, they gravitate towards that because, you know, the conception that older is cooler, you know what I mean? Okay. Butchered says, as a teen, when anybody tells me what to do, I tell them to fuck off. Or if they're family, I'll say no in the dead most serious, ominous way. That's a spirit, buddy. That's a spirit. Let's see. DJ Mr. Joel, I married a Mormon. He crowd surfed at a High on Fire show in his wheelchair. That's intense. Hopefully the band gave him autographs after the show. I love heavy metal rules. Hey man, I've been watching your videos to take my mind off what's been going on in every Brit's mind. That made news like wildfire yesterday, didn't it? Did y'all see Chris's live stream yesterday? Where he was talking about the Queen? He's gotten a few nasty comments on it, but he's loving it, man. He is living it up. Bless Chris. He's the man. Okay. My goodness. I can't wait to go over this shit. My goodness. My throat hurts. Dark Revenant. Like, my hair just goes down the top of my spine, and people go, oh, you look like an emo girl. Come on, man. Don't let anybody suck the life out of you. Be what you want to be, because a lot of people don't have the courage to be what they want to be. That's the beauty of metal. You know, this subculture, it allows you to be an individual. Metal is about promoting individuality. Unless, of course, you have the gatekeeper types who are like, oh, a metalhead shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. Fuck that shit. You do you. Hey, is it metal if I listen to this? Who gives a shit? If you like it, listen to it. You know, that's... You don't need my approval or anybody else's approval. You do you, bud. Michael C. Antonino says, who's Chris? Thrasher Chris from Thrashed TV. Chris Soutsos. Cool dude. Let's see. Life and Liberty says, what is Gwar's most popular album? Generally, it's considered Scumdogs of the Universe, but Lost in Space is pretty popular too. Okay. A-Man 1998. I pretty much get compliments on my hair. So far, I've run into a few people telling me to cut it. I was in Taco Bell once when I was 16 years old. I had just got finished mowing grass for some lady that I used to mow grass for. And I had my hair pulled back and with my hat backwards. And some douche lady was like, can I make a suggestion? You need a haircut. I wasn't bothering a soul. Didn't look at her, didn't say shit to her. And as I walked out the door, I just said, fuck off. Fucking people. Her boyfriend probably cheated on her. Good karma. Dark Revenant. My favorite band is Korn, and a friend of mine goes on about how he believes Korn is not metal. I tell him, shut up, man. No one's slapping dick what's metal and what's not. Hey, I'm not into Korn, but if you like it, please, go for it. You know, I don't care if you like the Backstreet Boys. Just, you know, be honest about what you like, you know? There's a lot of people, they're not comfortable enough in their own skin to admit the things that they like. Yeah, but Concert Stories Part 2, I'm excited. That was a good video. I really enjoyed making that. I filmed that on the same day that I did the Megadeth review, which got way more views than I expected. But I was really busy last week, you know? I got so much work done. And I'm happy about it. 12345 Finn says, only compliment I ever got on my hair was that my family wore a college girl when it was long as... Okay, punctuation, dude. Squid Metal says, one of my favorite bands is Slipknot. I get so many poser comments from metal elitists, it's so fucking annoying. Well, like I said, you know, you do you. Crates Cloud said, did you catch the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert? No, I did not. I heard that a lot of great performances went on, and I'm glad that people were giving him a proper send-off. Because he earned it. It's a shame he had to die. He was so young. You know? I've never even really listened to the Foo Fighters. But I recognize talent when I see it, you know what I mean? Anyway. So yeah, all these videos coming up. And did y'all see all these Dave Mustaine headlines coming out lately about, oh yeah, I was the alpha male in Metallica. My goodness. Those guys live rent-free in this guy's head 40 years later. Dude, just admit that you have like a sexual fantasy that hasn't been reciprocated. I'll bet if he were to fuck James Hetfield, all hard feelings would be dropped. He'd probably be like, oh yeah, I want to ride your lightning. You know I co-wrote that, don't you? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah! I mean, they'll be thrusting in bed and Hetfield will be like, yeah! Whoa! Are you feeling alive, Mustaine? And Mustaine will be like, countdown to orgasm, baby. Anyway. Unwholesome says, greetings from Finland. Get well soon, brother. Thank you so much. Censored by YouTube. I've seen a new copy of Cold Lake for $40 and I didn't buy it. Do you think I missed out? No. For what it's worth, I paid $30 for a used copy. And I thought, man, why am I buying this? I might as well just throw $30 in the streets. You know, for as much as this is worth. Life and Liberty says, didn't Dave and James make up a few years back when the Big Four performed together? He says he did, but man, it's like every couple of years they've got something new to say about the situation. It's like, come on, man. I swear, I think Metallica has a department in their corporation, a PR department that just handles Mustaine comments, okay? And they search out all the things that Dave is saying in interviews, and they report it to the band. And the band's probably thinking, oh, what that son of a bitch say this time? Oh, he said that he co-wrote all the songs and that he doesn't feel like Lars should get all the royalties. Okay, let's deal with this now. You know what I mean? Ksenia Sullivan says, have you watched the Joe Rogan interview with Dave? No, I have not. No, I have not. It's on my watch later list, but I got so many things on my watch later that it's not even funny. Cornelia says, takes guts to stream even when you're sick. It's appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much. Squid Metal. I'm actually writing a video defending Vanity Nemesis. It's a great album. It's a great album. And the guy who played guitar on that album did the soundtrack for a video game called Slain Back from Hell. Awesome game. It's like Metroidvania, only more intense. Censored by YouTube. Did you see that Celtic Frost box set? I think it's a bit of a ripoff, but pretty cool. And it has no Cold Lake on it. I have not seen the box set, but I pretty much have all those albums already, so anyway. Dark Revenant. One thing I despise about elitists. Do you have more than 5 listeners on Spotify? Poser sellout. Hey, a lot of people call you a rock star if you want to be successful. I used to know a guy like that, and the funny thing is, he would brag about how he got to smoke a joint with Glenn Benton backstage when he was 15. But he was an arrogant asshole anyway. He was like, oh yeah, you're being a fucking rock star. You know, I'd like to have 20,000 subscribers. It's like, oh, jealousy. Okay, nice. Jealousy from a 42-year-old. What a fucking dick. OU812 says, Dave is just plain jealous as fuck, end of story. Yes. It's like, dude, your band hit number 2 on the Billboard charts with Countdown to Extinction. I mean, how much further can you go? Anyway. Crates Cloud says the Slayer vinyl video was very good. That was a good box set. I ended up selling that box set years later when I was selling a lot of my albums. And I've been slowly rebuying them on CD. I'm probably not going to do a CD collection update video this year. Maybe next year. Lately, I have acquired the Nativity in Black tribute album to Black Sabbath. This was a huge deal when it came out. This came out in 1994. It's got all these great bands on it. Biohazard, White Zombie, Megadeth, Sepultura, Ozzy Osbourne with Therapy, covering Iron Man. Corrosion of Conformity, Bruce Dickinson with Godspeed, Ugly Kid Joe. Can you believe they were popular at one point? Faith No More, Bullring Brummies, weird name for a band, 1000 Homo DJs, which is a Ministry side product, and Typo Negative. This is one of the best tribute albums I've ever heard, and there's a second one. It has a red cover, and I have that on the way because I've never actually listened to it. I want to do a video on these albums, but let's see. As far as Black Sabbath tribute albums, there was a really good one that came out on Earache in the early 1990s. It had Sleep on it. And in the early 2010s, there was a tribute album for the Dio years, which had Anthrax and Tenacious D. That was also really good. Anyway, so, a couple stories about this album, okay? You know Pantera's cover of Planet Caravan on the Far Beyond Driven album? Well, they were supposed to do that cover to be on this album. And then the label said, oh, we've got too many bands. We can't put that on the album. So Pantera said, okay, fuck you guys then. We'll put it out ourselves. And also, a lot of bands were fighting over what position to be on the album. They wanted to be before this band, after that band. They wanted to be first on the album, middle of the album. Nobody wanted to be last. Typo Negative told the label, hey, we want to be the last band on the album. The label said, oh, well, that's easy. Nobody wants to be last on the album. But they knew what they were doing. Because their version of Black Sabbath left an impression, and that was their goal. They wanted to leave a lasting impression, and they did it. It is so fucking scary. And keep in mind, this was 1994, so for some people, this was their first exposure to Typo Negative. I gotta blow my nose again. Fuck. I can't wait to be over this shit. I haven't even had a common cold in 3 years, and the first fucking thing I get is goddamn COVID. Man. Censored by YouTube says, unpopular opinion, Slayer isn't really that good after Metal Blade, never got the big deal. Well, I think Slayer stopped being divine after they stopped sounding evil. So, Divine Intervention, I think, is the last great album they did. Though I do like Undisputed Attitude and Christ's Illusion and World Painted Blood. Metal Media says, hey, I got a question. What's your advice on bands now trying to change back to the raw sound as they once were? Hey, as long as they know what they're doing, you know? I think bands tend to vibe the best when they record live off the floor, you know what I mean? Like, you can record the drums first and then record all the tracks separately, but I feel like that's kind of been done to death already. I mean, sometimes it's important for metal, like if you're hitting 1,000,000 notes a minute, but, you know, you don't always need to hit 1,000,000 notes a minute, you know? Go Teo Go says, how old are you? I am 26 years old. Ritual Homicide 66. Is elitism okay? It's comical if it's comical and not serious. It depends. Like, the Kardashianization of metal and wearing metal shirts if you're not listening to the band, it's bullshit. And people are going to call you an elitist and a gatekeeper for it, but, you know, this is our home. You know, this is... We've seen these bands on multiple tours and spent a lot of money. And saw them go through ups and downs, you know? And for someone to come along and just look at metal as a fashion statement, it sucks. Jonathan Keith says, have you contemplated doing a review of Ministry's work of Houses of the Mole and beyond? Yes, I'm currently working on a album video on the Bush trilogy. I got 2 parts of the voiceover done, and I'm waiting on the first part because I'm waiting on Max Brody to get back to me for any factual inaccuracies. But that's going to be a good video, and I have a feeling it's going to get more views than my Animositasamina video. I was so disappointed that one didn't get more views than it did because I worked really hard on that video. You know, I did my best to make sure it was visually appealing and that my voiceover work was good. And that the facts were interesting and accurate, and then barely anybody watched it. So I have a feeling that this one's going to be viewed a lot more. However, I have zero interest in covering anything after The Last Sucker. You know, if I do another Ministry video, it's probably going to be on Twitch. So there you go. I mean, that's going to depend a lot on if I can find any press or any interviews from around the time. That's a cool thing about albums in the internet age, is you can find all sorts of articles and reviews and interviews and stuff. Awesome. Have to say Ministry is probably my favorite band, and I've really appreciated your videos on underrated albums like Filth Pig and Dark Side of the Spoon. Yep, that's part of the reason I did them. Because I didn't feel like those albums were getting their just due. And so I went and bought real magazines from the time and did scans of them and learned my information about those albums from those. So, yeah. I mean, I really like Dark Side of the Spoon. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's a great album. And Animositasamina. It's a fantastic album. Shove, The Light Pours Out of Me, Leper, Impossible, Lockbox. So many good songs on that album. And it's unfairly forgotten by Ministry fans. Like, what? Y'all are praising Rio Grande Blood, but you're not going to give this one a chance? This is a great album, you know? Anyway. Metal Media says, by the way, love your new album, man. I recently finished fully listening to it. I love how it mixes thrash and heavy death metal in one without being overdone. Why, thank you. Thank you so much. For those who don't know what he's talking about, I released a collection of songs on every streaming platform you can think of called Tales from the Tube. It features a lot of my old songs remixed and remastered. And it features a brand new song, Dame of Darkness, about my love for metal women. So, yeah. Go on Spotify, go on Bandcamp, which is where I have Killbot patches, by the way. And go on Apple Music, because it's there. It's worth a listen. May Credible says, fuck elitist, I almost stopped. Oh, a super chat! $5! Thank you so much from Maverick Shaw. Hey Killbot, what's your opinion on underground punk, and what's a good underground punk band I should listen to? You should listen to a band called Strung Up. They did a split in 2004, I think, with a band called... I'm struggling to come up with the name. But the band is Strung Up. Really good stuff. There's also Blatz and Filth. In fact, they did a split in the 1990s called the Shit Split. Blatz and Filth. It's a really good one. The vocals are horrible, though, so if you want to clear the room, play the Blatz side, and you will clear the room. Make me want to cry. Anyway. It's fun, though. Tonight, we're gonna fuck shit up. So good. Anyway, back to the elitist comment. May Credible says, fuck elitists. I almost stopped listening to the music and rejected the community because of the sheer amount of hate I got after openly expressing what I like. Yeah, that's the dark side of being part of a subculture, is you got a lot of people just telling you what is and what isn't, without necessarily taking into account that if they put too many restrictions on newcomers, it's going to scare them away. And why should you embrace something that wouldn't embrace you? Well, here's the thing. Metal is for everybody. And like I said, you can listen to the Backstreet Boys if you want. Preferably not around me. But, you know, metal's about individuality. So if you want to listen to it and be happy about it, bud. Lately, I've been... Actually, a couple things. So, let's see. I was at the library. I wrote that video that's hopefully going to come out next week. But let's see. I got the new Evanescence album that came out a year ago. It's so funny to me. they're still together after all these years. I haven't heard this yet, but I used to blast the shit out of their first album. Yeah, it was the Daredevil movie that I first heard them. Bring Me to Life. I fucking loved that song. And it was the Daredevil movie. It's like, it's a trash movie. Especially the theatrical cut. The director's cut's fine, but like, when I was a kid, it was like, I wanted all these superhero movies. I was like, they should make a Daredevil movie. They should make a Flash movie. They should make a Punisher movie. And some of those movies came out and they weren't good. But that's all we had. I was like, ooh, Daredevil. I like Daredevil. But yeah, they played Bring Me to Life during the training montage. Or the pre-fight montage. And it's weird, like, the only person from the original lineup in Evanescence right now is Amy Lee. Okay, like, apparently the rest of the band left because the label wanted to turn it into an Amy Lee solo band. Which Amy Lee didn't really want, but that's kind of the way things happened. And, yeah. So, haven't listened to this yet. Hopefully I'll enjoy it. I actually enjoyed their self-titled album. It was really well done. Let's see, and then there's also the James Brown 50th Anniversary Collection, which has most of his biggest songs. Interestingly, it does not have Living in America. I guess they wanted to focus on his 60s and 70s work, but still. Get up off of that thing! Dance! There's a video from the 1980s where he just got arrested for, like, attacking his wife or something. And he was getting ready to go on tour, so he went and did an interview for CNN. He was high as a fucking kite. He was on PCP, and he did the interview. His teeth were chittering, and he was basically just screaming out random song names while the interviewer was trying to, like, keep her patience, and she had the patience of a saint, buddy. Oh, so how did this come to be, Mr. Brown? Living in America! Yes, that'll do it. Can you tell me what's gonna happen on tour? Oh, we're gonna play Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Feel Good! Jam! And you can hear the camera crew laughing in the background. I swear, the whole thing was like something you'd see in the Boondocks or Chappelle's Show. Seriously, go look it up. He was fucked up. Anyway. Metal Media says, you know, in the end of the day, we should accept the diversity of metal and individuality, as you said. Because I feel people become overprotective of the metal and don't let it expand beyond and then shun others. Yeah, that happens. That does happen. And it's hard not to get overprotective because this is music that we care about so much. Most of my best friends are metalheads. Partisan Mold 567 says, I wanted to go to Ozzy on the NFL halftime show, and NBC didn't show the full live performance, and I got pissed, and my dad also got pissed. Oh yeah, you bet. It's like, okay, we got real rock and metal right here. And, yeah, fucking show it, man. Ozzy Osbourne's the man. Anyway. So, what have I been doing lately? I've been talking about this in some of my past live streams. I might as well reiterate. Been getting into goth music lately, so there's this book, The Art of Gothic, and what it is, I thought it was going to be like a big history book on the scene and the subgenres. And, like, they do have paragraphs on the music and the clubs and how it began, but mostly it's about the artworks and the fashion and, the album covers. And one of the album covers they covered was Ministry, Houses of the Mole. I was like, that one? I would have covered Twitch before I covered that one. But yeah, I read through half of it already, and I'm enjoying it. Might finish the other half later tonight. I'm a bit of a fast reader. You know, it comes with age and reading a lot of books. It's really nice. And then there's another one, Goth Bible, which came out in 2004. Which this one's about 300 pages. This is more like a chapter book with some pictures here and there. So that's pretty nice. And then I've got the Dee Dee Ramone autobiography, which somebody on Patreon sent me. The Ramones books are always full of entertaining stories. Those guys, it's hard to believe that they lived as long as they did, because they were dysfunctional as hell. Life and Liberty says, look up a band called Alien Sex Fiend for some goofy goth music. Actually, I've been listening to Specimen. They had that one compilation that came out in the 90s. And there's that song they did, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And it's like, oh, got some funky slap bass here. Bum, bam, bum, bam. Actually, Specimen got a whole chapter dedicated to them because of like their clothing style. And it was interesting. The big thing that I learned was in the 70s and the 80s, a lot of people who lived in the Victorian era were dying off, and their clothes were being donated to all these secondhand shops. And so a lot of the old school goths, that's where they got a lot of their style from. And interestingly, Dave Vanian's wife, Dave Vanian, he's the singer of The Damned, his wife, Laura, she owned one of these shops. And so since a lot of the goths, they wanted their own individual style. And some of them couldn't sew, so what she did was she took a lot of these clothes and like sewed them herself. You know, ready-made clothing for people who couldn't sew. That's pretty interesting, you know. In other words, you don't have to spend a fortune on Hot Topic or Killstar or anything if you want to dress up that way. Me, I got a leather trench coat that I've been dying to wear in public. And mainly if I go to goth night, I just do like black jeans, black t-shirt. It doesn't take much to push me in one subgenre or another, because my look is pretty versatile. Like, some people say I look like Robert Plant. Some people say I look like Alex Webster. Some people say this, say that. But anyway. Lonely Milk says, just joined your live stream. Glad you're doing well. I'm doing as best as I can because, man, this COVID stuff, I feel worse than I felt in years. But anyway, okay, so Cornelia says, dude, show the trench coat. Okay, I will do that. Give me just a second. I've had it rolled up since it's the summertime, and there hasn't really been a need to wear it. But believe it or not, I found this for $50 in Cleveland a few months ago when I was visiting my mom. This lady bought it for her son who never wore it. And the only thing it needed the pocket stitched back up, which was a cheap fix. So $50 plus a $15 alteration. Pretty nice. So, let's see. Okay, you're probably not going to see me in the full frame here, but damn, look at that. Smells good, it looks good, it's got these nice pockets right here, it's got inside pockets. The buttons are really nice, it is a beautiful coat. I cannot wait to wear this to some goth night in October and November. It's going to be fun. And the fun thing is, about goth night, they announced another one at the Wicked Witch on September 24th. But if things go the way I want them to go, I will be seeing Nine Inch Nails and Ministry in Cleveland that same night. So yeah, everybody's going to be dancing to Every Day is Halloween, but I'm going to see the band that performed it. That's going to be fun, and I want my mom to go with me too, because it'll be bonding time. You know, she's heard about my obsessions with Nine Inch Nails since I was 11 years old. I used to be pretty active on their remix website when it was still active. And I used to go to their website and check up on the news and all the behind-the-scenes videos. I mean, I was obsessed. Excuse me. So it'll be a good bonding moment, you know. That trench coat, thank you. Callum Cook, good to be in the stream again, thank you. Censor by YouTube says, thank God he didn't buy this in 1999 or 2000. Oh, this was a $200 coat, brand new. But the lady just wanted to get rid of it, so yeah, she sold it to me pretty cheap. I had to drive a little far to go get it, but it was worth every penny. I've always wanted a leather trench coat. Mom did beg me not to wear it at the airport on the way home. Because, like, in Cleveland in May, it's a little colder than it is in the southern United States. So I did wear this coat out in public a little bit, but she was like, please don't wear that in the airport. They're going to think you're a shooter. Anyway. Okay, so we've been streaming for 59 minutes. I think I have exhausted my energy doing this stream, and like I said, I did the best I could as far as the energy goes and the topics go. And hopefully I can recover pretty well from COVID. But like I said, I have 2 tickets to Lacuna Coil. They're playing in Charlotte on Sunday. I have digital tickets, so if anybody wants to go, hit me up on social media. I'll sell them cheap. So, thank you all very much for joining the stream, and I will see you next week. Grind on, folks. Wait a minute, wait. Before we go, there's a super chat. $2 from Crate Clouds. Get better soon. Thank you for showing me some Nile. Thank you, bud. Thank you for the super chat. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining, and grind on.